Good evening, Europe. Good morning, Australia. I'm Rayan.
I'm Will. Sorry.
And I'm Ivan.
And tonight we continue to dissect Series 2 of the Traitors Australia. This is the podcast where we watch reality TV, so you don't have to. Welcome to episode 16 of It's Just a Game. Hello and welcome to episode 16 of It's Just a Game, the podcast where we watch reality TV, so you don't have to. It is good to be back with a lot to discuss, and I'm never alone. Always walking alongside me are Ivan and Wilf. Hello, Ivan. How are you?
Hello, my lovely friend. You'll never walk alone, Ryan, because I'm right here in step, weirdly trying to keep step with your massive legs.
I thought you were going to say something else was massive. That too.
I hate to watch you leave, but I love to watch you walk away.
Oh, that's beautiful. Also never walking alone is Wilfred. Hello, Wilf. How are you?
Oh, I love that You'll Never Walk Alone because I'm a Liverpool fan. So
yeah, mate, you never told us before. Tell us again, mate.
Have you mentioned it? I thought you supported Manchester.
Actually, yeah, talk about football. Which football team do you actually support, Will?
Is it Enfield?
But actually, I now support. I have a Croatian hat that I got from Croatia, just as an international team.
Somebody's just come back from a little cruise, hasn't he?
I have come back from a cruise, but it is like it's a gem of the earth, Croatia. Like I just didn't expect it to be. And do you know what? They have the same culture as. Like the Vikings, they love drinking. They've got big beards, and it's like. So, do you know what I called them? The Vikings of the hot sea. That's what I called them, and they loved it. They loved it.
It's going to catch on. I just feel it. That they're going to love that.
I think we'll catch on, or Border Force is never going to let you into Croatia ever again.
Or Scandinavia will never let you in there either. You're basically stuck here now.
So I can't do the cruise next year. It's all right.
Same. Now, if you're just joining us, this podcast is all about reality games. Every week we look at the biggest losers, and there'll be quite a few this week, the best plays, and the most iconic bits of reality TV. Tonight, we debrief episodes 3, 4, and 5 of the Traitors Australia. Now, as always, be warned, we are entering a spoiler zone. If you haven't seen episodes 1 to 5 of the Traitors Australia, go away and come back when you're done. If you have seen it, stay here, as there's a lot we have to discuss. And actually, if you haven't seen it, actually don't go away. Stay for a second, because I'm about to introduce an actually recurring segment with Ivan. It's called What's Happened So Far, Ivan. Ivan, what's happened so far, Ivan?
Thanks for asking, Ryan. I have a small piece of paper prepared here with some synopses because, yes, we've heard your complaints. We say we watch reality TV so you don't have to, and then we just talk about it as if you've seen it. So if you haven't seen it, here's what happened in episodes 3 to 5. Right, episode 3. It is Sam v Ash. Sam, the traitor, is going for Ash, the traitor. Ash so far doesn't know, but soon finds out. Payden's murdered. They go off for a task. It's kind of the UK task, but like about... it's kind of got a little bit of the coffin task as well. Annabelle is continually hilarious, and we also learn the Australian Fergus is called Daniel. Back in the tower, or the castle, or whatever they're calling it, it is fully Sam v Ash, but eventually Sam gets the numbers, votes out Ash, and Sam does the first traitor hunt. Everyone believes Sam is amazing, because Sam, like our friend Will, got the first traitor out. And at the end of the episode...
Don't bring me into this, mate.
I will not. Roger offers the two traitors a recruitment. On to episode 4. Okay, so Sam's got away with it somehow, and there is a groundswell building to banish Ian. Paul's been murdered. They head off for a task. It's like a muddy minefield where they have to answer guess secrets about each other. Liam's team wins. Liam shoots flaming arrows at a bunch of ships to gain the shield for the second time. Here's where it goes crazy. Luke and Annabelle start their campaign against Sam, but it's interrupted as Ian and Liam lay into each other based on vibes. At the round table, they continue Ian versus Liam, utterly distracting from Luke and Annabelle's Sam theory. Eventually, the two faithfuls cut their losses and vote Ian, and it's Ian who's banished. Back in Traitors Tower, the traitors are loving it. Episode 5. This is Annabelle's episode. She starts breakfast announcing she's hunting Sam, and then reveals in a confessional she's also onto Blake. She's solved the whole thing. Sam tries to slip in as Hannah's pal, and then it all begins. It's all Annabelle and Luke. They're up to speed. They've locked in on both remaining traitors. They could win in the next 2 episodes. This has never happened before. They're the best faithfuls ever. BFE. This task is basically just spinning Wilf from UK3. It's nothing. Blake gets the shield. Again, nothing. Annabelle, when she suggests Blake to Sam, he takes the bait. It's looking good. She's got confirmation it's Sam. But Simone, the wrestler, pushes back hard, utterly disagrees, and in the round table, it all turns on Annabelle. They vote for Annabelle. She gets voted out. She stands up, does a whole thing about polar bears, and she's gone. Luke and Annabelle tried everything they had. They shot their bolt, and they did not get rid of Sam, and that's where we are now.
Honestly, pretty insane summary for an insane free episode. I think episode 5 might be one of the best episodes of like the Traitors multiverse, fully thanks to Luke and Annabelle. But let's talk about it. Quite a few things that happen in there. And the first one, I think, is the first very early Traitors backstab. We talked about this in the last episode, and it really materializes. It really happens in episode 3. Ash loses a cool at the round table. There's a big fight, and people vote Ash out. What do you guys think? Surely it's a bit too early to be backstabbing another traitor. It's only a third of the way.
Oh. I just feel like he did it way too quick. I said it in the previous episode because obviously he said that he was going to do it. And now he's done it, and he's actually got away with it. But does that leave him vulnerable? Because a lot of the people in this show would have watched various episodes of the Traitors, and they know other traitors like the UK traitors, American traitors, and they know at some point they will backstab another traitor. But at the same time, would they think that they'll do it so early? So it's a good strategy, but a bad strategy at the same time.
It strikes me as really weird that they're all trying to become the traitor hunter. They're using this phrase, and we know from you, Will, and from other people that it is the first thing a traitor will do to get another traitor and confirm themselves as good. So it doesn't confirm you as good. And yet they all drink Sam's Kool-Aid. It's incredible what he manages to do. But the most amazing thing is the way he gets people to turn against Sam. It's utterly formidable watching him do that. He says things like, Ash, you've revealed your true character now, while revealing his own true character. It's really hard to watch, and you do root for Ash because you feel like she's been completely overplayed by Sam. So well done him, but also, like, I feel sorry for Ash.
Can I just say that we anybody from the Australian cast that are listening to this, we're watching your edit. So if we do say things that are a bit harsh and we don't like, if we don't like you or whatever, it's because of the edit. But one thing I want to say is, when I went against Alyssa, it was nothing about getting rid of another traitor. It wasn't about that. It was the fact that I knew people were voting for me and I knew people were voting for her. And the only way I could get a majority of people to vote for her is because they were already going to vote for her. It weren't like, oh, my strategy is to get out the traitors. That wasn't it at all. Yeah. Like, I really wanted to stick together at the beginning. And it just felt like that because Alyssa said certain things and she was breaking at certain points. But I don't agree with, I know it's called the Traitors and I love that there's so much drama, but at the same time, I'm just a bit like, bro, why can't you just try and go together?
I think he sets out at the very beginning to make it the Sam show. And I think it's slightly unfortunate for the other people in the show because he does steal a lot of oxygen from them. He plays a blinder at times, but also he reveals it at times when he says things like, I murdered Payton in episode 3.
It's like this down because, like, come on, there's 3 of you. You didn't murder Payton. You collectively murdered Payton. Come on.
And it's fine. The reason he gives is right. He was the right person to murder at the right time. But don't say I did it, because all we see, and he calls himself the sheriff and eventually ends up like, well, maybe not this episode, but, you know, wearing sheriff outfit and properly being the sheriff. And it's just like, okay.
It's a knobhead.
His edit.
Sorry, Sam. Your edit's a knobhead.
We have to say, that's the problem with Sam. Like, that's my other big conversation topic for today. Sam, like... He's actually a decent traitor. He's a decent strategist. He's definitely helped by the fact that the Faithfuls are also really shit at this. He's great at strategy, but the problem is, like, there's a character behind that I cannot get behind. It's the ego, the, like, sociopath vibes that are just, like, making it really uncomfortable to watch. Like, somebody please break his finger so he just stops doing finger guns.
Can we say one thing, right? This guy's gone through it, right? And he's literally manipulated so many people, and these people aren't the type of people that were in the UK traitors. Like, they have not like, no offense to the UK traitors, but it was very normal people in normal sort of jobs. the people on the Australian cast are all ex-police. One of them is literally, what's his name? Keith. Keith went undercover as a fucking drug smuggler or something for years. Like,
a mule.
Yeah, a mule. Like
maybe he smuggled a bit of the drug, which would explain how he voted every time.
Yeah. But do you know what I mean? Like, it's not an easy game to play. And I do take my hat off to Sam, because when we talk about the later episodes that I've been on, then you can really sort of respect but hate at the same time. Like, it's hard to, like, I can't talk about the position he's in because, well, I can, but I mean, like, I can't hate on him because it was the position I was put in. And I'm guessing if I did it again, I'd probably be a lot more ruthless because that's part of the game.
The thing is, I don't hate on the ruthlessness. I don't hate on him playing the game because he's doing that and he's doing that well. It's the ego behind it. As he went on that show, wanting this to be the Sam show, he went on that show deciding he was going to be the star. He was going to make himself a career in reality TV or something. And that sort of character, there's always one in a series. And that sort of character, I just don't gel with. I can't get behind. I can't love because I know it's all orchestrated for maximum attention.
I will never, ever get behind Sam. Like, I know it sounds really bad, but I just couldn't. He has no, like, at least to me, I did deep moments, but I genuinely
went
cared.
there for the love of the game. You were playing the game. Yeah. All you did was for the love of the game and not for your own ego to make this the Wilf show.
Speaking of the love of the game, Blake and Sam do play quite a good play at the end of this episode when Roger comes in, offers them a recruitment, and they say no. And they repeat that no for the next few episodes as well. And it's effective. 2 is good. With 2 traitors, you can't get 2 turning against 1. It's a much safer kind of trust relationship. Even though they begin to betray that trust very, very quickly, it's the right play again by the traitors to go, no recruitment, 2 is fine. And I think Blake is playing a blinder at this stage as well. Blake is doing really, really well. He's doing a quieter version. Sam is obviously being like main character syndrome, but nevertheless, the 2 of them at this stage actually, I would say Sam is just as likely to go home in episode 4 as he is to survive to the end because he's put so much attention on himself, and that much attention on you can blow up in your face. It's too much chaos. It's too random.
Let's talk about Blake's... Go on.
Sorry, go on. I was going to say, do you think Sam is thinking about airtime?
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Just wanted to clear that because I can see it. He's like, the worse I am, the more ruthless I am, the more airtime I'm going to get. And just
the dodgy claims he's making in those confessionals. It's like, you're not even, no one is that evil. You cannot actually have a head like that.
Put the fucking guns away. He does my head in with the shooting shit, man.
Honestly, Australia needs finger gun control.
You got a license for those, mate?
Talking about Blake then, Blake's strategy, what do we think? They go up to head for a bit. At one point, Blake tells Sam, I don't trust a fucking word you say, mate. It's a brilliant moment. But at the same time, he does go back and trust Sam, at least outwardly. And in the way he plays, it does feel like he keeps trusting Sam. Do we think that's the right strategy at this stage, having reached episode 5? Or do we think maybe he needs to be a bit more careful, maybe a bit less keen to follow Sam?
In my life, right, I'm a very trustworthy person, and I feel like I find it hard not to trust people. And I feel like he's the same. Like, he will say, I don't trust this person. But then at the same time, you're in a position of power where you need that person to corroborate with what you're doing. So he's scared because he knows Sam has power. The way Sam turns on people is so strong. So he just
attacks them straight back again, doesn't he?
He attacks them, and he always comes up with a legitimate reason too.
He remembers all the facts. He remembers everything. He's always got something for each different person.
Exactly.
It's insane.
So Blake is intimidated. You can tell Blake's intimidated, but he needs to get out of that and just be like, no, do you know what? Fuck him. I'm going to do it too.
Every single episode, we see one of the 2 of Blake or Sam either be tempted to or fully pull the trigger on betraying each other. But they're also both quite aware during the roundtable about whether they want to actively, outwardly do that. People change their mind at the roundtable a lot in this series. Yeah. And we see it quite a lot, that one or the other one goes into it being like, all right, I'm voting for this, particularly Blake. All right, I'm voting for Sam. And then when he realizes there isn't the numbers, he pulls back. We also see it with the Faithfuls. We saw Annabelle and Luke going in there, being like, we're all going to vote Sam. They see the numbers aren't right. They vote Ian. So it happens a lot, but they never fully turn on each other until later. And that is a joy to see. loyalty.
I think if I was the faithful, obviously I've never played as faithful, only for one episode till I found out who the other traitors were. Like, you're still looking for other traitors. Liam would probably be the one I was looking at. I don't know if it's the mustache and the hair. I don't know. Like Jeffrey Dahmer vibes. I don't know.
It's weird. I mean, you know, the viewing experience of this show is you're basically a traitor as you watch it along. So you don't ever get that feeling of not knowing who they are. And a lot of the stupid things faithfuls do is harder to see and harder to empathize with because you always know who the traitors are. So, you know, you need to watch a series of The Mole to realize how clueless we all really are, because we all know, and therefore we all think we're bloody brilliant at this game. But then when you see something like Annabelle and Luke figure it out, maybe they were lucky, but they figured it all out. They had both remaining traitors, and we're like, episode 4 and they're done. The game is solved. All they need to do is listen to reason and the game is over. Such an exciting, I've never seen anything like it.
And you're talking about them, our two heroes, Luke and Annabelle. Oh my God, I love them. Look, they need to have kids, like, or something. Maybe not, but okay.
I think Annabelle will be up for that.
Yeah, okay, fair. Maybe Luke is. We'll ask him. Honestly, they're brilliant. Like, they've got the game. You can tell. Annabelle went into this game, she revised, she looked at previous series, she listened to great podcasts.
She must have listened to some amazing, I reckon some of the podcasts she listened to must have been so amazing.
Yeah, and then ours as well. So honestly, like, look, she knew what she was doing in that game, and I think that knowledge really shows. She understands the strategy, she understands the meta layers. She's at a level of thinking that others do not get to unless they've got like a real background in strategy, like Luke does as a former player on Survivor in Australia. They're incredible, and I need to sing their praises. Mate, they're really good at this.
I said in episode 1 of season 2 of our podcast that I like Luke. I did like Luke. I feel like him and Annabelle, you know, when they sussed them out, I was so fucking excited. I was like, oh my God, they've sussed them out. But the thing is, it's like everybody says this thing, and there's no way. I'd like to ask Ivan this, actually. So if 2 players are convinced, so what they did, they kept it quiet to the round table. Yeah. But then if they went around spreading, it could have backfired. It's like, how would you play it if you 2 were convinced and you know? Because they put together legitimate reasons as why.
But can you even play it? Because really, you are at the mercy of everyone else.
Well, I mean, I do have a point about this, and it's what I did, which was never say anything and then get voted out. So I didn't play it right. Although I do feel like on episode 4, I maybe...
That's not your card.
Instead of going for Alex on episode 4, I should have gone for one of the people I actually believe were the traitors, which were at the time mostly Amanda, but also my other 4 were... Andrea, you, Will, Alyssa, and Matt. So I was I was on to you, but like Amanda was the one I would have gone for. And if I'd done that, it would have played it differently, but I would have been murdered. Anyway.
Wait.
We've gone over this so much. I was on to you when you cried during the Red Breakfast.
No, forget me.
Okay.
Amanda. Like, I want to know why. Like, this isn't exclusive. Like,
put on her glasses. It's not an exclusive. I said it everywhere. She put on her glasses immediately after the traitors were given. Yeah. She changed her entire... I'd spent all day one with her. Changed her entire demeanor after the traitors were announced. I was on to her from the first day. Every single confessional I did was like, it's Amanda, it's Amanda.
We've been over this, Wilf. Like, in my first confessional, the very first confessional I go to, they ask me who I suspect, and I go for Amanda straight away, because she did this thing. And if you happen to be going up to Scotland in a few days to play the traitors, if you're American, just remember this thing. She puts her fingers together, and that's this thing called temple hands, which is a sign of confidence. And in that room, it happened just after like the traitors had been tapped on the shoulder, and in that room, that level of confidence when everyone else is losing it, people are even afraid of drinking their water. It was just like, oh my God, that's gotta be you.
I mean, she said she needs her glasses to see, and I agree, but she was not hiding behind them for the entire first day, and suddenly she was hiding behind them when she took off her mask.
And the worst, you know what, there's one thing I gotta add to that. The worst thing she'd do is that she was always like, maybe they are not traitors. And I was like, okay, that's you then.
Exactly. She kept saying that. I was like, no, it has to be. Who's being murdered then? Anyway, so only a traitor would say that. Listen, the point here is I had some people I named, and my big mistake in series 1 was not going on the attack for someone I had evidence for and instead going for Alex. But you do not campaign against a player. You don't even bring them up unless someone else has brought their name up, because with numbers like that, there's no point getting rid of traitors. What happens when Ash gets rid of? They offer them recruitment. You don't need to campaign against anyone. So why do you come out and say, I know it's these people? it's TV. It's exposure. Now, Annabelle, for all of the reasons we absolutely adore her. Also, I think she would agree she was trying to make good TV, and she did. She made 5 episodes of brilliant TV. She was quite polarizing on social media, I think, because some people thought, she's trying to get screen time. Of course she was going to get screen time. She's hilarious. Also, she's brilliantly watchable. She's absolutely hilarious, and she solved the entire game in 5 days. Now, if I were her, I'd be like, even if I get sent home at this point, I've solved the game in 5 days. I've made my name. I'm one of the best faithfuls ever, and that's fine. So in answer to your question, Will, when do you reveal it? I'm not entirely sure. It depends on the context far too much, but you don't reveal it on day 5. You reveal it on day 7 or 8. That's what you do.
Would you befriend them? So, befriend and betray, my strategy. So if Annabelle and Luke said, these are the traitors, we need to befriend them to get, we vote with them.
Yeah, but then imagine having to be friends with Sam.
I fully agree.
It's horrific, isn't it?
You do befriend them.
I'd rather get finger gunned.
Oh, would you?
No, I mean finger gun down. You get me, okay?
Is it 2 fingers for you? Is it? Oh.
You're on that level, are you, Ryan?
Anyway, we've talked about our heroes. Now I need to talk about our zeros, which is basically the rest of the cast. And this is where I come to my new recurring segment. Sorry, Ivan, I'm stealing this from you. The editors in the Traitors Australia, they love the I do this job, so I'm great at catching traitors.
Yes.
Like at one point, this guy's like, I'm an electrician, so I'm great at catching traitors. And I'm like, look, there is no correlation here. Like, please. So what I want you to do is please come up with a job that would make you great at catching traitors. The more outrageous, the better. Ivan.
All right. I'm a clown. So I haven't thought of what. Okay, right, here we go. I'm a clown, and I'm pretty good at treading on toes. But if people tread on my toes, it's all just shoe. And that's how I'm going to get the traitors. I'm going to go around treading on toes and see whose nose honks. That's how I'm going to find as a clown.
Can you imagine? Sorry, I think you're a traitor.
It's you, mate. All right, let's make it fair. Let's unless you got one, Will, I want to give you a job, and you can see how that's going to make you a good traitor hunter.
No, go on, give me a job.
All right, let's do postman.
I'm a good. I don't know. I can't do this shit, man.
I'm a postman, and let me tell you, I'm gonna win this game because I may be late. I may not turn up one day, but you better believe I'll deliver.
See, I can't do that, though.
Oh, yes, thank you.
Yeah, I can't do that.
I need to come up with one. Hold on.
All right, can I give you a job?
Sure.
A dog trainer. Why? What makes you a great player of this game if you're a dog trainer?
I can't do the accent, but I'll still try to. Like, as a dog trainer... No, actually, listen.
As a dog trainer, I like to bring it for the bottom of the heel.
That's Australian Borat.
Okay, as a dog trainer. Go on, you do it again.
Like, as a dog trainer, I'm great at finding traitors. That's all I've got.
Wait. As a dog, I can't do the accent. As a dog trainer, every dog has its bite. But what we need to do is show our hand and make them feel comfortable, and then we take control of them. Here we go.
Nice.
Amazing. I can train them all. They can follow me.
As a dog trainer, I would love to put my nose in everyone's ass until I figure out who smells shit and who smells right.
That's brilliant as well.
Yeah. Very good. Hey, good recurring segment, Ryan. I love it.
That might recur.
I think it might.
The other thing I want to talk about is, I'm sorry, I know it's not everyone's favorite cup of tea, but I've got to talk about the challenges. I actually really like the challenges. They blew shit up at contestants. I don't know how health and safety signed up on this shit, but I loved it.
Okay.
They were the shield challenges. The fact they've got shields in every challenge and they keep upping the ante. They make the shield really important, and also that gives a new life to the challenges. I just actually really enjoy the challenges in this series.
I agree with you to an extent. I think taking the shield away from the winning team is really great because it means that you can't hide behind being on the winning team anymore. However, that blowing up challenge annoyed me so much because it was like, ooh, let's find out some secrets about the team. First one's about Payden, who's out. Next one is literally like, there are some people who are hiding some information about themselves. No shit, Sherlock.
It's like, okay, that's sort of the name of the game.
And then, but there were some really good ones as well. Like there is a bear in Traitors Tower, which I thought was really interesting. It was like, oh, okay, so how do you play that? I don't know, but like there were some interesting ones. But what it didn't do is reveal anything about any of them. And what we need is evidence. We need like, oh, I want to know something about the characters. I want to know hints about what they really like, so I can start to find out who the traitors are.
Yeah,
and they missed a trick by not giving good spoilers away, but I agree, blowing stuff up in their faces was quite funny.
See, I think the perfect middle ground would be something along the lines of, look, we're not going to ask the Traitors to sabotage the task. This is not the mold. No. If you want to see this, it's coming to Netflix soon. That's fine, but that's not the Traitors. However, giving small advantages in the game, in the challenges, could give it a second life. Not just a shield, but you could add protection from banishment. You could add something like, and one protection from banishment can change everything, because sometimes you're the name on the table for one day and not the next day. You can have like very slight hints about the traitors, like something like this guy somehow related to Peterborough, and like they don't tell you anymore, and you just have to figure it out.
Invisible shield. So if you get voted out, banishment, you can deflect that onto someone else and they have to be banished.
Yeah, turn a vote away. You could steal a vote. You could, like, there's so many twists you could have.
Did you say pedo bear?
What?
Related to pedo bear? Peterborough.
Peterborough, just like at the end of the Thameslink line.
Yeah, Peterborough. That's where my dad's from. That's where I run my boxing gym. Peterborough.
Not pedo bear.
Not pedo.
I didn't see pedo bear.
Oh no!
No, hang on, no. Okay, right. Let's move on. I have something else I want to say, which was one of the best moments. And again, this should have been enough, faithful. When Annabelle's standing up there doing her, clearly prepared. Tell me I'm wrong, Annabelle, but I loved it. But clearly prepared.
So what I've read is she prepared it on the way into the banishment room.
All right, okay, but listen. When she's doing that, and she starts doing the bit, and then she goes, Sam, don't look shocked already. And it's so fucking good. And it's like, listen, just look at what's going on. He's looking shocked. He hasn't even found out she's a faithful yet. We absolutely have all the evidence we need at this point, and they can't see it. It's so frustrating.
Can I say something? My daughter's got a little merry-go-round. This here, I'm showing you guys. And whenever she plays it, it reminds me of Annabelle. So look. Wait.
Is this copyrighted music?
It just reminds me of Annabelle.
No, is it singing about polar bears?
It just reminds me.
This reminds you of Annabelle.
It just reminds me.
Is it because it's pink?
No, because it's so glorious and pink and nice. It just reminds me of Annabelle. Like Annabelle was just like the best. Like,
can we all have a moment's silence for Annabelle then?
Oh yeah.
Yes. Yeah. We're all united here today for her lady, Annabelle.
The real traitor hunter. Her and Mark from season 1.
May you rest in peace.
What was that bit when she climbed up the coffin? She was like, I forgot about the weirdos.
Mate, she was the best, man. And you know what? I'm going to say it right now. The worst thing the faithful's done, out of every faithful that's been banished, she literally the worst mistake they made was getting rid of Annabelle. Like, by far.
Yeah, 100%. No, look, you know what? I know that one day there's going to be a Traitors International version that I will not be playing. Definitely not. But Wilf will be invited. And I just need, I feel like I need to play this game against Annabelle. I need, she's just so good at this. It would just up the level of the game. Because sometimes, playing the Traitors in the UK felt like, you were not just fighting against the traitors, we were fighting against the faithful, because it was a case of who's going to make the most stupid decision today. Sometimes you just feel like you were playing against some faithful's intellect, and playing that game against people that just get it so well. People like Annabelle would just elevate this game. People like Luke, people like you, Ivan. It's just it would make this game so much fun.
Yeah, and this is where we plug something called the Cult that me and Ivan are working on. That we're going into big organisations and doing a day that's not traitor themed, but it's called the Cult, which is a social deduction game, which is very, very good.
What is that? Hold on.
Yeah. Long story, man.
Somebody listened to this podcast and was like, "Oh my god, I've got it. Let's invite Ivan and let's invite Wilf."
Oh! No, the thing is, here's what happens. They say, let's invite Wilf. And then Wilf texts me going, Ivan, help. Your job is game. Don't forget.
That's the truth.
I am the Ken of this podcast. My job is game. Okay, so
I've been asked to do this hosting thing, Ivan. You're so much better at running games. I need the mechanics of a game, please. Can you help me?
So he hosts, and I go, okay, well, you've got to have elimination here. You've got to make sure that there's a little catch-up mechanic. So that, yeah, unfortunately, that's all I can do in my life.
I will just stand on the car park and punch people's car parking tickets.
Hey, don't punch their tickets. Tickets didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah,
fair. I just punch the people who walk in.
You look like a parking ticket because you got fine written all over you.
As a parking attendant, I think I'd be pretty good at this game. I like to slap a ticket on every car, and I tell me what, I got the Traitors ticket today.
Fucking hell, what is this podcast?
Oh, I love this. There's like one last comment I've got to make. This is a direct note for Studio Lambert's production team. The breakfast in Australia, they've got hash brown.
Mate, why have they got sausages, bro?
Bacon, sausage, eggs.
I was eating cold ham.
We got dried croissant that had been there for like at least 2 weeks. Like the croissant is the croissant that Kate from the US version 4 weeks before they said she didn't want, and they left it on the table.
And we're not talking about croissants. We're talking about Ryan's croissant. Like do you know what I mean?
But for all the things they have on that table, why are they always nibbling on a hash brown like a hamster? They're always just holding it up like as the guy comes in. It's all they want. I mean, to be fair,
yeah.
it's all
You know
I
what?
want,
I'm planning a big trip to Australia in a few months' time, and I reckon I might just book a night in that castle, in that hotel, just so I can try the breakfast,
nibble on a hash brown,
see how the hash browns are.
Mm-hmm.
I know, just trying the hash browns.
Do you think you could come in as a faithful and be like, can I have some poached eggs, please? Do you think they'll let me have some poached eggs? Every hotel I go to get funny. You know, when you ask for a poached egg, they all scream like, oh, shit.
So annoying.
I'll be great at this game because I'm a cook, and as a cook, today I'm poaching eggs, but tomorrow I'm poaching traitors.
Yeah, finally.
Thank you.
Finally.
One last thing also, like, I need to give out what I will call the Paulie and Rayan Awards, named after me from the UK version and Paulie from the Australian version, for the person who appears least in the game. Gloria. Does anyone remember Gloria? She gets like a word in that episode. Like, she's in there up until at least episode 5. What's happened to Gloria?
She's laying low. I don't know why they've edited her out. Perhaps she just always makes too much sense. I don't know what it is.
that may just be what it is. But anyway, I said all I had to say on this episode. We've seen some good heat for Sam. We've seen our heroes, Luke and Annabelle. May Annabelle rest in peace. We've seen some decent challenges, some good hash browns, and Gloria, who goes home with Paul and Ryan Award. And that's it for debrief of episode 3, 4, and 5 of the Traitors Australia. If you like the show, don't forget to give us a 5-star review and follow us for some more gossiping very soon. If you didn't like the show, you can still give us a 5-star review. I don't really give a shit, to be honest. Or you can follow us on Instagram at It's Just a Game Podcast. Until next time, you can follow me on Instagram at Annabelle and Luke's fan account.
You can follow me at I Love Bread.
You can follow me at Polar Bears Eat Their Own Young when they get hungry or something at TikTok.
I think you've hit the character limit, I'm sorry. And from all of us here, it's see you very soon, and goodbye.
Miss you, Annabelle.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Miss you, Annabelle.